Hi again. So now we'll be continuing our MCQs from the 8th question, and well, just as we did yesterday in the previous video, I'm just going to let you have a look at the questions, you guys solve it, and then I'm going to explain the answer and for all these questions. Okay, so pause the video where you need to, and then you can begin. Question number 9. Question number 10. Question number 11. Question number 12. Thirteen. 14. 15. 16. 'Okay, now I'm telling you the question to each of these. The first one was, or rather the 8th question was about the BNP. Now, where is BNP produced? Here's our question. A lot of people, as you can see, picked the correct answer, cardiac ventricles. Okay, ependymal cells only produce CSF. Okay, so this, in spite of being named as brain natriuretic peptide, is actually not produced by the ependymal cells but by the cardiac ventricles. It is named so because when it was discovered first, it was actually discovered from the brain. The brain cells were, yes, producing it, but it was later on found out that the cardiac ventricles tend to produce it in even greater amounts. Okay, so that's why the correct answer to this question now is cardiac ventricles. The next question. This is quite straightforward and everybody knows it. The correct answer is type 2 pneumocytes. Okay, alright. Next, which of the following parameters would rise in a healthy 29-year-old individual during exercise? Okay, now as you can see, the most common wrong answer here is peripheral vascular resistance. The question says, which of the following parameters is going to rise? When resistance rises, the blood pressure also rises with it. Okay, so naturally that cannot happen during exercise because there is actually vasodilation happening, and that vasodilation is not going to cause a rise in the peripheral vascular resistance but a decrease in peripheral vascular resistance. Therefore, it is not the correct answer. Okay, then of course the diastolic BP is also going to decrease, and so is the venous compliance. Okay, what's going to increase is stroke volume, and that is what has been asked in the question. Okay, what is going to rise during an intense exercise, in any exercise for that matter? So that is your stroke volume. Okay, so this was our 10th question. Then we did the 11th question, which is as follows: which of the following increases the production, or rather which of the following increase the production of growth hormone? So for this you need to remember a couple of things that tend to decrease or increase the production of growth hormone. Okay, and then you'll be able to work this question out very easily. Hypoglycemia, sleep, stress, and moderate to vigorous exercise cause an increase in the production of growth hormone. Okay, however, hyperglycemia, free fatty acids, and of course the negative feedback by the growth hormone itself tend to decrease the production of growth hormone. Okay, so in this scenario, I mean, among these options, of course, the first one is correct because we have exercise as well as hypoglycemia. The second option has free fatty acids in it, so of course it's not going to cause the increase in production of growth hormone, rather a decrease. Okay, then we've got sleep and then hyperglycemia. Sleep is fine, it does cause an increase in growth hormone production, but hyperglycemia doesn't, it does the opposite. Okay, similarly, stress is fine. Yes, it does cause an increase in the production of growth hormone, but hyperglycemia is once again here, which causes a decrease in the production of growth hormone. Okay, so remember these things and it'll be great. I'll let you have a look at the answers and explanation that I gave you in the end, and you guys can take screenshots if you like, it's fine. Okay, then the 12th question is, which of the following would be used to correct hypochloremic alkalosis? Okay, so what actually happens in hypochloremic alkalosis is that there are not enough chlorine or other chloride ions, that leads to a decrease of the bicarb excretion via renal route. Okay, so bicarb tends to build up, and in order to remove that excess bicarb, we need to have sufficient, or rather excess, chloride ions, so that bicarb can be excreted out. Okay, normal saline fulfills this purpose. What purpose? The purpose of providing chloride ions. Okay, so that's why normal saline is going to be used. This is the correct answer. Dextrose saline is the wrong answer because it does not provide enough chloride ions to clear off the excess buildup of bicarb. Okay, so that's why dextrosaline is not the correct option here. Once again, 1.8 saline is also the wrong answer because it is used occasionally in the treatment of severe hyponatremia. It is not exactly related to the correction of hypochloremic alkalosis. Okay, so the correct answer here would be normal saline. Okay, then the 13th question was, which of the following should be performed in a 23-year-old individual with urinalysis which is twice positive for protein? Okay, and urea and creatinine are within normal limits. Now, what are you going to do in such an individual? You are going to, of course, measure the urinary protein in the first urine sample on waking up. Okay, and there's a reason behind this thing. And I'm going to explain it to you in a bit. Okay. As you can see, the most common wrong answer here is 24-hour urinary protein. And why? Because the 24-hour urinary protein tends to give us an idea of the severity of disease. Okay, or so it is used for quantification of albuminuria or proteinuria. All right. So here we are not exactly being asked about the quantification or the severity of this problem. We are more prone, or we are more interested to know what exactly is the reason behind this thing. So we need to know the diagnosis. and the diagnosis is going to be clear or evident once we measure the urinary protein in the first urinary sample upon waking up. Okay, all right. Then the next question was, which of the following is pathognomic for familial beta lipoproteinemia? And a lot of people went for tendinous xanthoma, and they they did not pick Palmer xanthoma. In familial beta lipoproteinemia, Palmer xanthoma is the characteristic feature or pathognomic feature for this thing, for familial beta lipoproteinemia. Okay, so yeah, this is the correct answer. Tendinous xanthoma is related to familial hypercholesterolemia, not this beta lipoproteinemia. Now these two are different conditions. Okay. The 15th question says, which of the following is raised in familial beta lipoproteinemia? And the most common wrong answer here is, of course, VLDL. Okay, no, it is incorrect. The correct answer is IDL, intermediate one. All right, so yeah, IDL is raised in familial beta lipoproteinemia. All right, and then the 16th question is, a 20-year-old individual always develops pain in his legs upon intense exercise, but the pain resolves shortly after rest. His blood lactate levels are slightly lower than expected during the exercise. Which of the following could be the reason for it? Now this, let me tell you the keywords here. First of all, it's pain in the legs. Number 2, the pain resolves shortly after rest, and that the blood lactate levels are slightly lower than expected. Okay. Now, the situation here is actually pointing towards McArdle's disease. Okay, McArdle's. And what happens here is that the muscle phosphorylase is defective. Alright, so there is a deficiency of the muscle phosphorylase enzyme, as a result of which the muscle glycogenolysis is decreased. Okay, so yes, this is the correct answer. Everybody was correct here. Okay. About hepatic glycogenolysis and glucose uptake by the muscles, by the exercising muscles, I would like to say that during exercise, the muscles rely more um, on the glycogenolysis within the muscle itself. Okay, instead of the glucose uptake by those muscles from the bloodstream. All right, so this does not exactly contribute much to this thing. So this is the first thing, and as I said, that it is the muscle glycogenolysis that plays a major role in the exercising muscles for the glucose store. Okay, so that's what. Okay, so I'll just let you have a look at the answers now. Cardiac ventricles are the major site of production of BNP. Then the type 2 was, the ninth question was about type 2 pneumocytes that produces surfactants. Then the 10th question was about the thing that increases the most, or rather the parameter that increases in during exercise, and that of course was stroke volume. Okay. Now, venous compliance falls as a result of sympathetic stimulation. So naturally, once again, it's not going to be the correct answer for that question. Okay. Then the 11th question was about growth hormone, as in what increases the amount, or rather what increases the production of growth hormone. So of course the correct answer was moderate to vigorous exercise and hypoglycemia, and these are the things that you must remember: what increases the release of growth hormone and what decreases the release of growth hormone. Okay, know this list and then you'll be able to work out this question. The 12th question says, what should be used for the hypochloremic alkalosis? Okay, and I told you that it is normal saline. As you can see, it is the excretion of excess bicarb from the kidneys that needs to be done, and for that we need excess chloride ions. Okay, normal saline does that, dextrose saline doesn't. Okay, that's why normal saline is going to be the right answer here. Next was question number 13, which was about an individual having proteinuria. Okay, yeah, and we wanted to know what should be done next. So we have our correct answer of measurement of urinary protein in the first urinary sample upon waking up. And yeah, okay, 24-hour urinary protein is going to be useful for quantification and assessing severity rather than identifying the cause. Okay, then the next question was about familial dysbeta-lipoproteinemia, and yes, it was the Palmer xanthoma, not the tendinous one. Okay, tendinous xanthoma is linked with familial hypercholesterolemia. Okay, which of the following is raised in familial dysbeta-lipoproteinemia? It's IDL. Okay, then the last question was about McArdle disease, right? Yeah. Okay, so what was the correct answer? Decreased muscle glycogenolysis. Reason: an actively exercising muscle relies way more on its own glycogenolysis rather than the hepatic one, or taking up the glucose from bloodstream. Okay, and the description in this question was classic for McArdle's disease. Okay, so developing pain in the legs upon intense exercise. However, the pain resolves upon rest. So this is the keyword for McArdle's disease. All right. Now the videos for questions 17 to 30 would be coming up next.